Hello everyone, welcome to Cabbage Patch Soap. My name is Laura and today we will be making a soap with some fall leaves and we'll be using soap dough. So I'll be showing you how to use soap dough to make leaf cutouts and we'll be using them in the soap that we'll be making. So I'm just going to fix my chats here real quick. This should just take a moment. Hope everybody had a good weekend. And we will also be cutting the soap that we made during our last live. All right. Okay. So let me just go ahead. One of the chats is not cooperating. Oh well. I think it'll still show up. Okay, so let me go ahead and we'll get this soap cut. This is the one we made last time. We used a little bit of red and green with white as the main color. Hi Lorna, welcome. And then we dusted the top here and textured it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this and we'll see how the design came out. And then also, just get this. I'll be talking about the fragrance that we're going to be using in the next soap. So, okay, that came out pretty cool. We got that swirl in there. We got some nice, can't think of the word now, glycerin rivers. I really like getting glycerin rivers in the soap. It makes the soap look marbled. I think it's really, really pretty. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on this, but it doesn't look like it wants to. But it's got red and green in there, and there's the gold top. And there's the other side. So the swirl in here is really subtle, which is what I wanted. I didn't want a really big swirl like I do in some of my soaps. I wanted this to be a little bit more subtle. So here's the other side of that one. Hi, Stacy. Welcome. Here's the other side. That came out pretty neat looking. And like I said, we got the glycerin rivers in this, so that's good. Okay, here's the other side of that first swirl. And here's how it looks on the back. So this is really, really nice. I like the more subtle swirl. It's got the red and green, so it does look pretty Christmassy, but it's not so much that it can't be used any time of year. And it smells so good. This is a really good fragrance. I really like this one. And then these are the end pieces, which we will cut up later for samples. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly put this up on the drying rack. Oh, we should also get out the individual bar that we made before I forget. So here is the individual bar. And I got a little bit of the gold dusted on the top there, and it's got the red and green swirl. And it's got some white on the bottom, I think. So let's pull this out and see how it looks. Okay. Yep. So it's got that kind of marbled red and green look on the bottom, and then and the white. I'm just turning this around so you can see the sides. It actually looks really nice. Got kind of a even line there. That's kind of cool. And over here, some red and green stripes almost. That's kind of neat looking. Of course, it smells really good. All right, let me go ahead and set these on the drying rack real quick. Then we'll come back and make this fall leaves soap. This should just take a minute. All right. So these are on the drying rack. Just going to clean my gloves off a little bit. And I know last time I was showing you how you can dust the inside of your mold with that gold shimmer, the mica. Maybe what we'll do is pour the extra soap batter in there from this soap. I'm just going to read what you're saying here real quick. Stacy says, I gave the kids their soap yesterday and they got so excited about them and started telling their mom and grandma all about how you made them especially for them. How cute! I'm so glad they like their soaps. That's awesome. It's always special, I think, to get something like as a kid, get something that you picked out or that you designed. I think a lot of times kids, like, they really feel seen, and um, they like being part of the process. It makes it kind of special for them. So I'm really glad that you like them. Okay, let me go ahead and get the soap crumbs. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put this on the shelf. I'll be right back. Okay. So let me just see here. Like the oval bar with the dino footprint on top. Yep. Yeah, the footprints are really cool. I want to use that stamp some more. I think it's a lot of fun. I actually have stamps with like regular footprints in it. I want to do like a Bigfoot soap and like an alien soap later. I think those would be fun too. Okay. So I went ahead and started cutting out the leaves and stuff for the soap. And I want to show you the process on how to do it, but just so that you guys can get an idea of what they might look like. So the yellow and orange ones I cut out with this. It's like a kind of like a cookie cutter. I had this custom made, and I just stamped out a bunch of yellow and orange leaves with it. So they're just plain, like there's not a design on the leaf specifically. It's just the colors. And then let me just move this light. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. So the white ones I rolled out with some of that soap dough that we made from the soap the other day. And then these leaves, let's see if I can pick it up without crushing it. It's really soft still. It has the veins. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. Um, excuse me. It has the veining from the leaves in the soap. So the way that's done is I use these stamps here. It has a plunger on top, and inside there it has the veins and the design of the leaf, and the outside here is scalloped a little bit. And what you do is you use this to cut out the soap, and then you push the plunger down, and that brings up that design and stamps in the leaf veins. So that's what I did here for these, and we're going to make more of these to put on the soap. And then what we'll do is dust them with gold. Let me see. You can see the edges, but hard to see the veins on the camera. Yeah, I know, it really is. What we'll do here, let me get some. I have some of this gold here. Let's put it on, and it's just gold mica. And I will brush this on the inside, and hopefully that will make it easier to see. Oh, see, the problem is this camera. I can't wait to get my other camera. I can't I can't use that other camera because it won't let me do lives with the other camera until I have a certain number of subscribers. So that other one focuses really well. This one just doesn't. But hopefully that gives you a better idea. Let me see if I just stamp it down directly. If that will stick better. I don't know. Can you see that? Well, anyways, what I'll do is when I stamp out these soaps, I'm going to dust them with gold anyway, so this isn't going to hurt anything. I'm just going to cover these so that they don't get too dried out while I'm working with them. So here's the soap dough, which I rolled out. And then here's the little scraper that I use. It's like a palette knife, like for painting. There's some rubbing alcohol. And here's the soap dough that we made. I've used about half of it. And what I do is I first fold this over like this. So it's the chunk of soap is sandwiched between the paper. And then I take this and I roll it out. And this on the ends here, these are rubber rings, and they make a gap. So um, you can see how it makes when you roll it out, it lifts the roller up off the table a little bit. So it makes a gap here, so that way you're not rolling it completely flat. And also it can be really hard to gauge and like make the top of this like flat, because if you're using a regular rolling pin without these gauges on here, what can happen is as you're rolling, it's thicker on one side and thinner on the other, and then it just It's frustrating trying to get it all perfectly like the same thickness. See, Stacy says a sci-fi theme would be cool. Yeah, that would be fun. That's what I was hoping to do, with something kind of sci-fi. I don't know. We'll see. I've got the stamps. I just need to schedule the soaps and make them. So what I do after I roll this out to approximately what I want is I take one of these stamps, and I have two. This one's a little bit larger, so we'll do some of both. And I take the alcohol. This is just rubbing alcohol. I spray the inside of this, and then I spray the top of the soap. And this just helps it so that nothing sticks. And so I will stamp this down. So this cuts out the leaf shape, and then I'll push down on the plunger while pulling this up. And then you can see it leaves the leaf design on top. Now, because this is the gold, I want to dust them after. That's why I'm wiping it off. And then what I do is I take this, I also spray it with alcohol, and this just prevents it from sticking. And I'll slide it under here like this and pull it up. And then I add it to my other leaves over here. And when I do that, sometimes the little leaves will curl up a little bit, and I want it to do that because that will make it look more natural. So Doctor Who would be cool as part of a theme. That would be fun. Okay, let's try this again. I haven't seen Doctor Who in a long time. I only saw the old one. I haven't seen the new version. So I stamp a couple more. So all the serrated type leaves that I've made so far have been this size. So I'm going to switch to the large ones now, and we'll do a few of those. I'm just going to pull this up. We just got. See if I can get this all on camera. Camera's not. Oh, whatever. Anyways, you guys can kind of see. Okay. All right. So we're gonna. This is the small one. We'll switch to the big one. This is the same exact design. It's just a little bit bigger of a stamp. I wanted both sizes because I've got those little tiny ones that don't have the veining on them, and then I've got the middle ones with the veining, and now these large ones. So. And then see. And we'll just add them over here. And you just keep going. This is the easiest way that I found to use these. It is very time consuming, especially if you want the like if you want perfect designs. So for example, if you didn't want any of the leaves to curl, or if you were going for a very specific look, you end up having to stamp out a lot more than you end up using. Come on, camera. Oh, anyways, I'm not going to show every single one because I don't think the camera's going to focus, and that's might be tedious for some people to watch me do that. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one. And these are just like little fondant stamps. If you look up fondant cutters, you might be able to find them. And you can use all kinds of fondant cutters. They don't have to be the ones that have the little plunger on them. You can use any kind of cookie cutter. I prefer plastic or stainless steel. But you can use whatever. You can even freehand it, like just take one of these, spray it with alcohol, and then cut out the shape that you want, like this. And then just scrape it up like that, and you've got a shape, whatever that shape is. You can also mold this by hand by just picking it up and turning it into whatever you want it to be. You can mold 3D shapes, just like with working with clay. So there's really no, exact right, perfect way to do this. It's really just what you can come up with. As long as the tools that you're using are safe, then it's fine. You just want to make sure you're not doing anything that would be irritating to the skin. Oops, we got a little piece of soap on the side there. There's that one. And we probably won't use all of these. What I'll probably do is go through and take the ones I like the most and use them. And then anything I don't use, I can either add back to this soap, or I can do something with them later. I have a couple ideas on what I might do with the extras, so I don't want to commit to anything in case I think of something I like better. And the consistency you want on the soap dough, I mean, it really honestly depends. This is really, really soft. It's like Play-Doh, because we just made it a couple days ago. When I let it sit for, weeks and weeks, eventually it does start to dry out and start to firm up, and that just happens over time, over a long period of time. And that's totally fine. You can still use it like that. You just have to warm it up. Like I would put it in my hands like this and warm it up and work with it until it was soft enough to use. And then um, it just takes a little bit more effort to roll it out and work with. So you use the consistency that you like the most. But I think if you want to do mold them by hand and make like 3D shapes, probably a softer consistency would be a lot easier. And another thing about that is you want, like, let's say you were gonna mold this piece, into some shape and make this another shape, and then you want to stick them together, like if you're making a snowman or something. Um, if it's not soft like this, it's not going to stick together very well, but because this is soft, you can see it just sticks together. When the soap starts to get drier and drier, it's harder to stick it together. So you'll have to use like a little paintbrush with some water or something and get it damp, and then it should stick together again. There we go. And the nice thing about this rubbing alcohol is that it dries pretty quick, so you're not really at risk of getting the soap dough all wet and causing it to dissolve. I got a piece of I tore the paper by accident. It's not on the leaf anymore. It's still there, but I accidentally tore it. Okay. Okay. Let me clean this off. And this paper, I used it to do the other leaves, so it's getting kind of worn out because I already used it to make a bunch of other leaves. There we go. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we've got quite a few leaves now. That's plenty for the top of the soap. So I think what I'll do is I'll stop here. We'll go ahead and I'll show you what we do with the leftovers. So here we've got the scraps that we didn't roll out. Like we rolled it up, but we didn't use it. I just peel it up. I'll wipe the extra soap off of this so it's smooth again. Spray it with alcohol. And then carefully slide the putty knife under here and get it off the paper. And this paper that I use is, what is it called? Well, anyways, you can use different things. You can use like butcher paper if you want. You can use freezer paper. Not butcher paper. Well, if the butcher paper, if you're using the side that's like glossy, you could use butcher paper. You can use freezer paper. Again, you want to use the glossy side. But this is neither of those things. This is parchment paper. That's what it is, parchment paper. And it works just fine. There we go. But it is not like there's not like only one way to do this. So you don't have to use parchment paper if you don't want to. You can use butcher paper. You can use even wax paper would work if that's all you have. Since this has already become soap, like I could take this in the bathroom and wash with it. It'll suds up fine. It'll work. It just hasn't dried out, and that's why it's so soft. Since it's already become soap, you don't have to worry about like any lye. You don't have to worry about anything eating up the paper. So any kind of smooth paper will work. You can even take like a surface, like if you have a cutting board or something, you can cover it really tight with plastic wrap, or cling film or something, and then you can just use that as your surface, and that works too. I've done that, but something similar to that before with the plastic wrap. But I like this better. I feel like I feel like it doesn't stick to the paper as much as it sticks to the plastic, but it can still work at a pinch if that's all you have. Okay, so I've just kind of pushed that back. Now there's soap all over my hands here, so I'm going to take one of the gloves off. And the reason is because I want to be able to open this without getting a ton of soap on the outside. It won't hurt anything. It's just, it'll be all covered in soap on the outside and dirty. Like it'll attract dust and stuff. I'm just checking. Let's see if you guys are saying anything. Hi, Barb. Welcome. Do I have any seashell ones? Yeah, I do actually. I do have some seashell ones. I want to do a whole like ocean or seaside theme. So I've got seashells. I've got the lighthouse, as you know, and I've got I got like the flamingo, which you guys have seen. I have a bunch of different beach ones. I definitely want to do those because I think the beach ones are really fun, especially for the summer soaps. I have a sandcastle. I do have a sandcastle. Okay, so I've got this closed. I'm just going to slip it back in here. And so this should keep it pretty pliable for quite some time. And this, by the way, was, so for anybody who missed the live where I did this, this is scented. I used the leftover soap batter and put it in one of these bags. So this is actually scented, but the pieces of soap are so small, it's not going to overpower the fragrance of the main soap itself. So that's totally okay. And I try to use soap scents that are similar. So I'm going to put it in here. And we're done with these. And what I do is since it's just soap, you literally just wash it off. So I'm just going to set this off to the side. Okay. I'm going to cover these again so that keep them from completely drying out. And oh yeah, we should dust them first. I think we should do that. Try to decide which paintbrush. Okay, let me go grab one. Okay. All right, I got a brush here. Let me pull it out. Okay. So what I've got is this is just a makeup brush, but I use it for soap instead. And we'll do this really quick. So I put this is just the gold, and I've put it in a little shaker. And I'll just take some of this. And as long as these ones over here are pretty dry, because I made them a while ago, and I'll just dust these so they'll look like gold foil. And we'll just keep going. Get off the excess there. So I think these will be really, really pretty. I didn't want brown leaves because the soap itself is going to turn a little bit brown. So this is instead of making a brown leaf. I think the gold will be nice and shiny. I think it'll look a lot better. And it'll help the veins on the leaf stick out. And this also will show us like which leaves are the best. It'll really highlight all the details so we can pick out the one that's pick out the best ones to put on top of the soap. These over here might be too damp still. Yeah, I'm gonna let the rest of these sit for a couple minutes to let the alcohol evaporate off. But I'm gonna put gloves back on so I can show you. Just a second. I gotta get my face shield. Set that aside. Let me see here. Now you can see the veins good. Okay. Oh, Barbie, you were the one that got the soaps. Awesome. Thank you so much. I hope you do like them. I'm just reading what you guys are saying here. I have another addiction. I know, it's hard. You like the colors, Barb? Thank you. I'm hoping on the finished soap mixed with some brown and a little bit of orange maybe, that this will pick up those colors. Okay, so let me just grab one to show you. Let me see if this will. Okay, you can kind of see. You have to trust me that it's there. Anyway, okay. And on these, since I used the yellow and the orange kind of at the same time, they have speckles of both colors. So like the yellow, you can see little specks of orange in them. And I kind of like that. I feel like it makes it look a little bit more realistic because usually leaves, they don't just go one color. I'm just seeing how, okay, the gold does kind of look nice on these. Yeah, we'll just dust these real quick. Yeah, okay. I like that. That looks really pretty. This doesn't overtake it since it's already colored. It just adds a little bit of something to the tops. Because this is going to be the decoration for the top of the soap. So it's not going to have like a bunch of other stuff on top. Okay, so let me go ahead and just set these aside. We will dust the rest of those before we put them on the soap. Move this out of the way. Trying to get all the stuff from the soap that we're not going to be using off the table. I don't think I need to though. Let me see here. All right. So that was just cleaning this off. Put that aside. Okay. First we need the oils, which I have here. And I think I'll move this out of the way. We got these. Then I've got the fragrance. We're going to be using Urban Winter. This smells really good. It's let me smell it again. Yeah, this is really good. It almost has like a, I don't know, like a coconut or a pineapple note to it or something, but it's really cool. It doesn't smell like tropical or warm or anything like that. It definitely has like this very cool, like temperature cool like scent, and it's very very nice. Then I've got this a sample of magic mushroom. This is a brown. It's a really really nice brown. I've used it before. You can see it's kind of used up. I just want a tiny bit of this. The reason is because this has vanilla in it, and vanilla tends to turn soaps brown. But sometimes the browning is uneven. So if I add a tiny bit of brown to this at first, it'll kind of give it like an even brown, and then as it darkens, it'll darken the brown. And then for the other side, I want to do orange vibrance. It's like this. It's a really really bright orange, and we're going to, again, it's going to probably turn brown, but you'll still be able to see the orange because I want to do a little bit of a swirl. So basically, you'll get two different shades of brown, and that's the goal anyway. It does not have very much vanilla, so because I haven't soaked this is a an experiment. Um, I don't know how brown this is going to get. It shouldn't get very dark. It has very little vanilla in it, but yeah. Let's see what you guys are saying here real quick. Yeah, Barb, there's so many in there. I have so many different designs that we've made because, especially with everybody's suggestions in the live streams and stuff, it's a lot of fun. Um, we a lot of those designs are just ones that you guys came up with, and that's why there's such a fun variety. I like that. I like having lots of fun different things. To me, it's like, I don't know, it's fun. Let's see. Your front bathroom is yellow with red, yellow, orange, and fall trees. Oh, that'll be perfect. It'll totally match. That's awesome. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Barb. I'm glad you like the videos. Yeah, there's a lot of work goes in, a lot of planning. There's a lot of stuff you guys don't see that's like behind the scenes. It takes me about 2 hours to set up for these because I have to prep the oils, I have to prep everything else. So there's a lot that people don't see, but I get that. I think that's true of anything that there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I wish I could show you more of that. I kind of want to do like a behind the scenes video. I just don't know if you guys would enjoy it. And also, there's just um, it would be a really long video. I don't know if anybody would want to sit through that. Maybe I could do like a pre-recorded one and like speed it up or something. Let's see here. What you guys saying? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Stacy's saying if there's any soaps you like, I can make them. Right. If you suggest something, I can make it, and on the live, it's really fun to watch it come together. So yeah, definitely make suggestions. Half of yours are requests. That's right. Yep. It's a lot of fun. Cats and bunnies, hummingbirds, so many ideas. Yeah, I have. Actually, I do have some new cat stamps that we can use. I do need to make more cat soaps anyway. That was something that was on the agenda. What happened was, I don't know if you were watching then, Barb, but a couple of months ago I got COVID, and so I was sick, and that like kind of shut down. Like it put me back really far, so I got behind. Like all these soaps should already have been made and everything, so I got really behind on the designs I wanted to do. And so I had all the stuff I had planned, like I wanted to make. I just cut those out and just made mostly the stuff that you guys suggested because I wasn't going to have time to do both. Um, all right, let me find my face shield. Here's this. Let me go ahead and I'm going to put the face shield on real quick. It should just take a minute. Okay, so one of the things I normally, oh, by the way, before I begin, these colors you can get at Nurture Soap. I do have a link down below where you can get it. And yeah, it's a what do you call it? Affiliate link. So it helps me out, but it doesn't cost you guys anything extra to use. Just I have to let you guys know about that. Okay, so we got to do the lie, and since I'm going to be measuring the lie, usually I do this like behind the scenes, off camera, whatever. But since I'm doing it here, I need to be responsible and let you guys know if you're ever handling lye, you want to be safe. The lye, when it hits the water, it gets very hot, and you can easily burn yourself. It can damage furniture. It can you also and then there's two schools of thought where whether you should wear like long sleeves like this or not. Some people have said that if you wear long sleeves and it spills on the sleeve, then it's going to be holding it against your skin. That's worse. Other people don't want short sleeves because they don't want their skin exposed. If you get lye on yourself, you want to wash it off with water. You don't want to use vinegar. Vinegar neutralizes it, but it heats it up as part of the neutralizing process. You burn yourself more. So just use water and rinse it off. And then you want to seek, any kind of medical attention you might need. You want to use something to shield your eyes. I use a face shield just because it's more uncomfortable, really is the main reason. But you can use goggles, just something to prevent any accidental splashes from getting in your eyes because, you know, that's the one place you don't want to burn yourself. And I like to wear gloves. As you can see, I wear gloves when I make the soap, but especially when mixing the lye and when the soap is still raw because you don't want it on your hands. Um, and if you can actually get gloves. There are people who get gloves that go all the way up to like their shoulders and or their elbows. You can do that too. You can wear really long rubber gloves. That way the light doesn't get through. But I've never had any major problem, any burns, major burns or whatever, just because I've been trying to be very careful. You also want to wear closed-toed shoes. So if you spill and it drips on your feet, it doesn't get on your feet. It gets on the shoes. You can pull the shoes off. So that's my PSA. And is lye used in all soaps? Yes. If it's a true soap, there's always some kind of base. So we use lye because it's the easiest. Technically, you could use something else but it would basically be the exact same thing. It would still be a caustic substance. What happens though is when the lye mixture, because you mix the lye with water first, and then you mix it into your oils. Um, when the lye water mixes with the oil, so you know how water and oil usually don't mix. This makes them, it emulsifies them, so it forces them to mix together, and it bonds everything together, and then it goes through a process called saponification, and saponification turns the oil and the lye into a completely different substance. Soap is actually a salt. It's a type of salt. So it chemically changes the oil and the lye into salt, and that's your soap. And so, as long as you calculate everything correctly, there's no lye in the soap when the soap is done. So like these little soap, there's no lye in that, even though we use lye to make it. It's kind of hard to explain because I don't know a whole lot of other things that literally turn into something else when you mix them together. I can't really think of anything um, off the top of my head, but there's no lye in soap anymore as long as you measure everything correctly. And then what I do as an extra precaution, I do something called super fat. Super fat is where you add a little bit more oil than you need. That way, if your lye calculation is slightly off or something, or just some sort of mistake happens that you don't catch, there's extra oil in the batter, so that there's not going to be nobody's going to get lye burns from the soap. And then also, I usually take like a sample or something, a small piece, and I test the soaps, or whatever. You can tell by looking at a soap. Once you've made soap enough, you can usually tell just by looking at it if it has too much lye, because it'll be kind of like dry and crumbly. Um, but yeah, it's I do a lot of steps to make sure nobody gets any lye in their soap, because nobody wants that. Oh, before I measure this though, let me mix the oils together. I forgot about that part. Um, this is why I let you make my soap, because you know all the dangers and tricks. Yeah, it sounds more scary than it really is. I mean, like I think the first time I made soap, I was really nervous about it, but then after I made it, I was like, oh, this isn't nearly as bad as it seems. And then I was totally fine after that. The more you make it, the more comfortable you get with it. And let's see. A Black Cat bar soap. Yeah, I do. I do. Yep. She wants you to spend your money. I think she just wants you to have the soaps you truly desire. That's probably what it is. Yeah, I want to make I have a little kitten stamp, so I want to do like little orange kittens or something. That's one of the next ones on my my to-do list. All right, look at this. All I'm doing here, so what we're going to be doing is the heat transfer method. And even though this part isn't necessary, because I have so little lye water, because it's just like a small amount, everything in here is in small amounts. Um, I'm just worried that it won't completely melt. It probably will, but I just don't want to deal with it. So I mix my two oils. So there's two basic kinds of oils. There's soft oil and hard oil. Soft oils are the ones that are liquid at room temperature, so like olive oil and almond oil. Those are soft oils, and hard oils are things like coconut oil or lard. Um, Palm oil, they're solid at room temperature. And so since I have a mix of both, you can see them in here. There's both. All I'm doing is blending them together um, so that you'll have I don't know, like a pudding like consistency. It's cool enough in here that they're not melting on their own. So in the summertime, like before I had air conditioning, the coconut oil would be liquid in the container. Like before I even, like in the container that it was shipped to me, and it would be liquid. So I have to be really careful when I order coconut oil. I have to make sure it's in like a sealed, like not in like a box in a bag, but something where if it melts, it won't matter. I'm getting air bubbles in here. Oh, and back to your lye question about does all soap have lye? If you look at like the ingredients from like soap from the store, like from the grocery store, a lot of times it's really just detergent. It's not actually like a true soap. Or they'll have true, like a little bit of true soap, but then it's mixed up with detergent, so it's like a blend of both. And that's why, hold on a second. For some people, there we go. See how it's almost like pudding now. It's almost got some chunks. But anyways, that's why some people they get their skin feels irritated after they wash, because some people are very sensitive to detergents, and they're in most of the store bought soaps. Detergents are really, really good if you want to get something super clean, like when you're talking about like laundry or dishes. I mean, they're fine for that, but I don't like how they make my skin feel. I always feel really dry after using them. Maybe I'm just spoiled because I got this, so that could also be a possibility. Okay, let's see here. Oh, you guys are talking about the surprise extras. Oh, the kitty likes the boxes. That's right. Yeah, if you guys have cats, if you guys don't know, I have a cat, and I sometimes make things for my cat. So if you guys tell me you have a cat, sometimes if I have something, I can put something extra in there for the cat. I love kitty cats. I have another channel. Sometimes I help out with the cat shelter, so sometimes I'll have another channel where sometimes I do videos with like the kittens. Like if I'm bottle feeding a kitten or something, I'll put it on camera so you can watch their little ears wiggle. It's cute. Okay. And let's see, what did I do? Oh, I put the lye over here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lye in. I'm going to move this so I can see the numbers. Okay. You have two cats. Alfie and Chloe. How cute. Cats are awesome. Okay, I'm going to pour this in. Go slow. And this is going to get hot right away. And, in this water, I have already dissolved some sea salt. I also put sugar in. I don't know if I usually forget to mention that, but I put sugar in as well. Sugar does a few different things, but it's dissolved, so it's not going to be scratchy. A lot of times with sugar or salt soaps, if the salt and sugar aren't dissolved, it feels a little scratchy. But I take care of that by melting it first. And I'm just swirling the lye. I don't know if you could see down there, but It's dissolving. It's kind of like look, it looks kind of milky. Like if I put my hand under here, you can't see through it. And all we're going to do is kind of swirl this until that starts to go clear. And once it goes clear, probably before that even, but I like to wait till it's clear. It's getting there. And then once it starts to clear up, you can pour it in. Just because Zooey is the king, of course. Okay. Yeah, see, now you can see my fingers kind of through it. Adorable pains most of the time, of course. That means they're doing their job. They know their job. Okay, so you can see my fingers now? See that, how it went clear? So now that it's transparent again, we can pour it in here. And the reason I'm doing this transfer method is to melt these oils. It's something I want to try. Usually I melt the oils ahead of time and I do everything like that, and just, I don't know, I wanted to try something different. And let's see. Trying to decide, I should have decided this first, how much orange. I don't want to do too much orange, so we'll use a small glass container for that. I've been all over the place today. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in, and you'll see the oils melt, like they'll become clear almost, or more clear. Like right now they look white because it is kind of like a whitish creamish color, and then it'll start to see how it's coming out like a changed color. It's starting to melt and become translucent. I got a little lump of oil in there still that needs to melt, but that's fine. It'll do it on its own. I just spilled. Way to go. Okay. How long have I been making soap? I think it's been about 5 years now. I actually started out doing hot process. But it's kind of difficult to do really nice swirls with hot process. You have to do a bunch of extra steps. And, I didn't like standing over the crock pot all the time because you kind of have to sit there and watch it. And you stir it, walk away, but you can't like leave the house. This though, another thing is if I want to make a huge batch, like if I want to make 25 pounds of soap, I can't really do that in a crock pot. So this method is much better because sometimes I do get like a wholesale order, and it's so much better to just be able to make it this way than to make a whole bunch of small batches in the crock pot. So this is mixed well enough together. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. But hot process is still great because it just is. If you, a lot of people prefer to make their soap that way, and that's totally fine. It tends to cure a little bit faster. There's just, I don't know. There's benefits to both, doing it both ways. All right, so the reason I stopped so soon is because since this is like the lye water is hot, the oils are now warm, this is going to start to turn into soap more quickly than if I had melted everything beforehand. And so, yeah, this is called cold process. And normally it'd be even colder than this because I would have melted the oils and blended them together first and then let them sit out to room temperature. And then I would have made the lye water ahead of time and let that sit out to room temperature. And when you do that, this, like, the batter moves a lot slower. You don't have to rush as much. But I wanted to make a few videos showing people what this looks like because this is a different method than what I normally do. And I wanted people to be able to see that, there's more than one way to do things. So you don't have to, like, there's no, I don't know. I don't get behind the whole, there's exactly one right way to do everything. I'm just like, if it's soap in the end, it's soap in the end, right? And I don't want to stress about it. When I was first making soap, I stressed every little tiny ingredient. I wondered, oh my gosh, if there was like one crumb of mica more, is that going to ruin the batter? And there were a lot of people that had like really specific recipes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, like I was afraid that like if I made something just slightly different, the whole batter would just fall apart. And that's just not the case. I mean, you have to work really hard to get it to fall apart. You guys might have seen that if you saw my video a couple lives ago where I put too much olive oil in. The soap is still soap; it's completely usable, but there's just so much olive oil. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is mix this up. So we got kind of like this light, kind of like a light brown with this orange. This will probably darken me see here. Don't forget to hit the button. Oh yeah, the like button. Yes. Thank you, Stacy. Also, I better not forget to add the fragrance. Um, and of course, since I don't know how the fragrance is going to behave, that's why I'm waiting until last to add it. Just in case there's, florals or something that'll accelerate it. This looks kind of like chocolate milk a little bit in real life. I don't know how the camera's picking it up, but that looks edible. I'm going to leave it alone now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this fragrance in. And like I said, I've never used it, so I don't know if it's going to accelerate, if this is going to cause problems. We will find out together. I'm going to mix this in first. Yeah, this smells really good. And also, yeah, the thing I was saying before I forget, if you guys have social media or if you have a YouTube channel or something and you want to share it, leave a link down below, either in this chat or in the comment section after the video is posted. Either way, that way we can find your channel and support you guys. And I know Stacy, I always mention Stacy's got an Instagram where she makes like tumblers and stuff. She does diamond painting. She posts pictures of her cat. Okay. Looks like it smells like pumpkin and vanilla. It smells like, it's so bizarre because there's definitely like these weird, like, not weird, but like unexpected, I guess, like coconut or pineapple. I think it's pineapple notes, but it's not tropical smelling. It smells wintry still somehow, and it's really good. It's very clean and kind of bright smelling. It's called Urban Winter, and I think that name does kind of fit. Like, it doesn't have the sleigh ride vibe, but it definitely smells more like something else. Okay, yeah, this is thickening up quick, so I gotta move. We're gonna do another kind of like a swirl like we did last time. I liked how that turned out, so we'll put a little bit of each color. We're gonna kind of go back and forth. Oh wow, that's really, whoops, setting up fast. I gotta move. Yep, I think this did accelerate a little bit. Oh, you know what? That's doing almost like a separation. Oh no. Maybe now if this fragrance does separate, like if I finish pouring this in and it looks separated, what I can do is just blend it all together. It's not going to matter, the orange and brown, it'll be fine. But this time I didn't add any extra, olive oil or anything. So this should not be separating because of that. But it looks like it's ricing or something. Yeah, it looks like there's oil pooling. I'll give it a couple minutes. If it doesn't sort itself out, then we will move to plan B. But this is what happens when you use fragrances that you've never used before. This is why I do tests and why I don't make like a massive 50-pound batch of soap out of something that I've never used before, is because of this reason. You don't know what the fragrance is going to do. Like, it's a mystery until you actually use it. Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be okay. It looks like it's calmed down. Well, I don't know. It's definitely pooling. I'm going to not risk it. We're going to put it back in here and I'm going to blend it some more. So we're going to lose that orange swirl, but I think it'll be for the best because this fragrance is not cooperating, and that's completely fine. A lot of times you can do this and mix it together until it comes back together, and then it's totally fine. And I've done that a lot, so hopefully that's all that's going to happen here. The orange looks like it's not, well, is it? Can't tell. It doesn't look like it's separating nearly as bad, so maybe we can still salvage a little bit of that orange and put a really simple swirl in it. Okay, yeah, this is totally fine. This looks like pumpkin mixed with cinnamon batter or something. It looks kind of good actually. Now I'm hungry. All right, put this in here. All right, let me get this. Take care of this drama soap. Actually, it's kind of a neat color. Okay, that's nice and smooth. Yeah, I think it's fine. It just needed to be convinced, I guess. All right. Yeah. So here's the orange. What we have left is just a little bit. I want to mix this up a little too, just to make sure there's nothing weird that's going to happen with this. And then what we can do is pour. There's not going to be very much, but I can pour it along the top and maybe swirl it, or um, making sure this isn't still separating. Make sure it behaves itself. I'm going to scrape it down so that I'm not being confused by oil that was already there. It's actually staying pretty fluid. Now, there is a such thing as deceleration. So when a soap accelerates, what's happening is it's moving faster. It's going from being this like liquid batter into being a solid soap more quickly. So florals do that really, really bad. If you make like a rose or a lavender soap, it goes from being liquid like this to a solid soap in like seconds. You have to move so fast. I think the one that I've used that was the worst was probably I think it was not lily, lilac. Lilac was the worst. Every time I use it, I mean, it smells amazing. It makes beautiful soap, but you have to have your plan laid out beforehand and mix your colors individually. And then you use a little whisk like this one, and you just whisk in the fragrance for like 2 seconds and pour it in the mold immediately, because it just goes solid immediately. But you can have deceleration where it actually makes the batter move more slowly, and that actually might be what happened here, because this should be a lot firmer than it is, especially with that heat transfer method. I find that it makes the soap move really, really fast. So maybe this has just decelerated it. And I haven't had one from Wellington that's done that before. So that might be what this is. Maybe I just finally found one. Well, on the plus side, that means that this is a good one to use, because if you want to do complicated designs, you have a lot of time to work with it. It's not anywhere near being solid yet. Okay, I want to stop messing with it. I want to let it sit. Yeah, I don't see any separation. The orange looks fine. See what you guys are saying. Hi, Patty. Welcome. Let's see here. Curling. What do you guys talk about? Oh, I know what you're talking about, Stacy. It's not called curling. It's called Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know people who do it. Quilling. That's it. Yep, quilling. Yeah, Barb. Okay, Barb got it. Yeah, quilling. Yep, yep. That's what it is. Yeah, that's really fun. That takes forever, but you can come out with some really cool looking designs. Okay. I've seen people do like individual feathers, and then they make like a border, and then they make another border, and it's like this epic design. But like, oh my gosh, did that take hours? But it looks so beautiful. Okay, we're gonna pour this back in here. This looks much better. It's almost looks like a like syrup or something, like a syrup that's kind of being turned into candy, like caramel maybe, almost like a thick caramel. Okay, I'm gonna get the bottom of this. Okay, tap that out, and then we'll put the orange down. Wait, which way? Okay, I got the marks for the soap on this side, so we'll go ahead and pour this orange, and we'll do that same swirl that we've been doing, and I'm just going to see if I can get this to all get out as much of this orange as we can, so that we can have a lot of it, well, as much of it as we can anyway in this design. So this is totally fine. It's going to look really good, I think. As long as it holds together, it'll be fine. Okay, so we got that orange there. And then what I'll do is I will take the swirl tool, and we will just push it down here like this, come all the way up, push it down again, come all the way up, push it down again, come all the way up, and just kind of keep pushing that orange down. And hopefully we'll be able to see the lines. I'm hoping they will be broad enough to show up. And like I said, this is probably going to kind of turn brown because of the vanilla. It's actually called vanillin, but it's the compounds that make the vanilla smell. And it turns soap brown. So, okay. At least that's how I've had it explained to me. Yeah, vanilla will turn your soap brown. And that's why it's hard to work with. Because if you want a white soap with vanilla, you are going to struggle. I'm just tapping up more air bubbles. Got one right there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to get those leaves and start. Oh no, first, before we do that, where did I? Here it is. Okay, so here is that soap mold. I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit extra gold down at the bottom. We don't need to do this, but might as well be extra. And then I'm going to scrape this out, making sure you guys can see. Yep, okay, you guys can see. And we're going to pour this in here. So this is when I used that little gold sprayer, that mica pump. And I showed you how you could spray the inside of your mold before you add the soap batter. And that's what I did here. So we're going to see if the outside of the soap has that pretty gold shimmer to it. Okay. I'm just scraping as much out as I can. I want this mold here to be as full as possible. Okay. We'll do the same thing with the orange. There's not really much in there, but better than wasting it. Okay. Okay, so there's that. And we will also put leaves on this if we have any extras. They will also go on top of this little extra bar here. Okay. So, whoops, knock everything over. I'm going to tap it to make it flat. Okay. And to get air bubbles out. Okay. That's almost completely full. That's perfect. All right, so let's get this done before I lose track of things. Okay, so first I want to make sure, so I've got these like lines here that kind of show me where approximately the bars will be. I want to make sure that the bars all get at least one orange and one yellow leaf. So I think I'll put those on first, and we'll start with the orange here. And oh, you know what? Let me grab my chopstick of helpfulness here. Here it is. We are going to use it to move the leaves around. Because the edges here get trimmed when I cut the soap into bars. So the next one down the middle. There we go. And the last one, go here. Okay. And we'll do the yellow ones. I think what I'll do is have them pointing this way. That might be cute. Okay. And grab this one. I'm going to push that back a little ways. Because I want to make as much room as possible for these. These other leaves are really big, so. And you kind of got to work fast because as I'm doing this, the soap is setting up and everything. Okay, just leave it like that. Just kidding. Okay, so let's get this. I really like this leaf. It got a little bit of a curve to it. So, and I'm just going to place these kind of anywhere. They're going to get cut when the soap gets cut, but that's completely fine. This one looks good. You can see the veining on the leaves. Oh, and we still need to dust those large ones that we made. So let's get those dusted. I'm going to put a little more of this gold over here. Get my sleeves on this. All right, there we go. There we go. That's better. Because I want to put some large ones on while I have the space. Okay, that one looks, that one's okay. These over here, this one has, okay, this one kind of looks cool. It's got like the fold marks from the dough. Okay. I try to pick out the ones that have the best veining. This one looks really good. So let's grab this one and put that one here. And let's see, this one looks good. Kind of make it fit there. And let's see here. These small ones have really nice veining. I really want to use those. Put that in here. This one, whoops, it's stuck. Okay, whoops. There we go. Okay. Put that one here. Let's see what else we got. Being picky because I want them to have good texture. This one looks okay. See if I can make it fit. I think it'll fit here. That's a good spot. We'll get another one to fit there. Running out of good ones. This one got dented a little bit. Let's fix that. There, perfect. Okay. I think I can get it to. Well, you know, maybe I could do it this way now. I don't want them going backwards. I mean, I do, but a little bit of overlap is totally fine. Just like real leaves. Okay. We'll overlap another one here. It's like a leaf pile. We'll put this one here. Do another like overlap. There we go. Turn this one a little bit. I don't want it to look too planned out because I don't. Okay. Okay. So far to me this looks okay. Just gonna kind of touch up some of the leaves. I think it looks fine. So here's that. And then, and again, I apologize. It's really hard to see the veining on the leaves with this camera. When I take photos, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And then what we'll do is, before this gets totally dry, we'll put some of these leaves on here as well. I think what I'll do is kind of go around the edge and do some of these. I don't have to worry about this so much because the edge, like I'm not cutting it, so I don't have to worry about it, like the edge getting cut off. So it could be a little freer with this. Get the extra off of that. Okay. Okay. And then, let's see. I like this one, even though it got the folds of the, when I was rolling it out, there was like a crease in the soap dough. But I kind of like that. It looks almost like it's supposed to be that way. Okay. Just make sure you guys aren't shouting at me to. Okay. Nobody's yelling at me. There was one time you guys were like making a suggestion. It was a while ago. And I was like, oh, we'll do this. And you guys were like shouting at me. I forget what it was. Maybe I was off screen or something. I forget. And I felt really bad. I was like, oh, if I had just looked over, I would have seen what you guys were saying. I was oblivious. Whoops. Dunking the soap in the batter by accident. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I think that's all we can really fit in this without overlapping. I don't want to overlap on this bar. Well, actually I do. What am I? Who am I kidding? Okay. Alright. Trying to get all this gold to pile up so I can dust it on. There we go. It's like I have to rake up the leaves to dip in the leaves to put it on the leaves. Huh. Sounds like somebody's shouting outside. Hope nothing bad is happening. Alright, I'll go ahead and put one here. And I think I'll put the other one here in the middle-ish. I think that will look good. Okay. This is a really fun design. Thank you for the suggestion, Stacy. Okay, been looking for an excuse to use my stamps and stuff too. So, hi Tanya, welcome. So this is the soap that we made. This is the extra bar. We have leftover soap batter. We put some leaves on top, and here is the main loaf here, and then it'll get cut this way. Like, trying to show you, the camera is not lined up like right through here. So each bar should have a yellow and an orange leaf, and then a scattering of these gold leaves. And now I've got to clean up the mess I just made. I dumped this over by accident. I'll put it in here because it's too top heavy. There we go. All right. And then we just use some gold mica to dust on top of these leaves like this to help the vein pattern show up in the leaves and stuff. So that's that. I'm going to clean this off. Set that aside. And this, that used up almost all the mica. That was pretty good. Hey Wanda, welcome. I don't know if Wanda, if you saw what we made. So this is a leftover batter. The batter is kind of like a brown color. We got some orange in there, but this fragrance has vanilla in it, so it'll probably turn brown. I'm guessing it won't be a super dark brown though, so we should still be able to see the colors we put in. And then I put yellow, orange, and gold leaves on top of this bar. And then move all this out of my way here. And then on this is the main soap, and we use the same colors: the brown, the orange, and then for the leaves, the same leaves, the gold, yellow, and orange. And this was a suggestion by Stacy. See what you guys are saying here. No problem, Wanda. I know it's hard to always make the lives. I don't expect everybody to always show up. Not always convenient for everyone. But I'm happy you're here. There we go. Okay, so what we'll do is in the next live, we'll cut this. We'll see how the design came out. Hopefully we can see the different colors. Hopefully we will be able to see how dark it is. Usually the soap, when it turns brown from vanilla, it'll start on the outside and work its way in. So hopefully we'll get to see some cool like vanilla, like the edging. It almost looks like, you know, when paper, like when they show like aged paper, how the outside is darker than the inside. It kind of looks like that. It's really cool looking. And then it slowly creeps in and the whole thing will turn brown. In fact, I have an example. Let me get my gloves off really quick. That pumpkin pie soap that I made, it smells so good. It's a really nice soap. But it also, I put this in the clearance section because it started to darken on the edges because this had vanilla in it. So it looks really cool. It looks like antique paper. And there's the back. It looks really super cool. It smells so good. If you like pumpkin pie or like the spices that go into pumpkin pie, you'll probably really like that. It has that cool like aged look to it now. But anyway, so this is a soap, and we'll cut that on Thursday. And then if you guys have any more ideas for soaps, I know I heard Barb was talking about cat soaps. Maybe I could do the cat soap. I have to make sure I've got enough of the soap dough that I need to make the right color of cats. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Can't go back to work for 3 weeks, Patty? Wow. Hopefully everything's okay. I'm going to take this face mask off since I don't need it now. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Definitely leave any suggestions you guys have for any soaps you want to see made, because honestly that's the most fun for me, is making things that you guys like to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys suggest. And let me just see what you guys are saying real quick. Oh yeah, if you can't go to work, you could definitely get some crafts done. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Sometimes the pet chat goes by too quick. Okay. Acorn-shaped soap? Oh my goodness, you fractured your knee. That sounds horrible. Oh, that sounds so painful. I'm so sorry, Patty. I hope you heal quickly. I'm going to, really quick, I'm going to write down acorn soap. I'm going to see, I think I might. Let me write this down so I don't forget. I'm going to see if I have an acorn stamp. I might. I know that I had gone and purchased a bunch of like critters, so I know I have like a squirrel. But I don't remember if I got the acorn or not. I will double check and see. But that would be really cute. Or I might be able to like figure something out. Maybe use like 2 different stamps to build an acorn. That could work. Yeah, you don't recommend it. I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that either. Geez. You like the squirrel idea, Barb? We could do that. I'll put that. I'll put acorn and squirrel and see if I have. See which. I know for sure I have the squirrel. I'll see if I have the acorn. That'd be cute together. There we go. Okay, I wrote that down. Um, and I'm also gonna make sure I check the soap dough and see what I have. I know with the orange colored soap dough, it's getting a little bit brittle. I'm able to like slice it and cut it into shapes. That's how I got the leaves, but it's not really pliable enough to. Well, I guess I could make it pliable enough. But anyways, I know the orange, the yellow is fine. I can also make a new orange. So that's also a thought. I was thinking of making another video on how to make soap dough. Maybe I could do that. So there's a lot of different ways we could go about this. I'm like brainstorming, which I shouldn't be doing on live because I will sit here all day wasting your guys' time thinking of ideas. Yeah, soap dough acorns would be really cute. That's true. I could just make them. See here, I go. I'll shut up now. But yeah, I could make them out of like 3D, like out of soap dough, and build them that way. That would be really cute. But before I get sidetracked and ramble on, as you guys know, I tend to do. Um, I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will look into the acorns and see if I can make those in time for Thursday, and because that sounds really cute. And thank you for the suggestion. And if you guys enjoy this and you guys want to see more, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out. And if you're new, I am trying to get to 500 subscribers so we can open up the community tab because I want to be able to communicate with you guys there too. So hopefully we will have that open soon. So I will see you guys soon next time. Have a great rest of your week.